Welcome back to Not 6 O'Clock News. This is a place where you can get information and inspiration for a brand new reality. My name is Natasha J. Rosewood. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a quantum healer, inspirer of intuitive intelligence, and author. Thank you for joining me on the show, and I'm looking forward to sharing some great information with you.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Not the 6 o'clock News, where we're going to hopefully inspire you tonight. I'm going to be doing some power psychic readings because the topic is what's in our future. So, we all have a sense of the future, whether we actually know it or not. And as we go through these interesting times, a lot of us have questions. Personally, I think the COVID has been a kind of gift of humanity. It's allowing us all to really pull back, reevaluate where we're at in our lives, our relationships, our careers. Do we really want to be doing this, continue going forward? So there's a lot of questions, plus the astrological energy that's going on. There's a lot of Mars and Aries. So there's going to be a lot of aggression happening as we've seen in the world. So everybody's going to be feeling a little bit squirrely. So that's okay. You're not alone. But I've invited some beautiful ladies to come on tonight, and they're willing to come and get their questions answered. And if you would like yours answered too, you can come on here at the end of every month, on the last Wednesday of every month. So the next one will be September 30th. Just email me, Natasha at natasharosewood.com. Let me know that you'd like a 10-minute reading. It's $25, but we can all learn from each other's questions and stories. So I'm the person that has the good news about the future. I don't think I'm the only one. There's a lot of good news. There's a lot of hopelessness. There's a lot of confusion. And as we know, the world does not look very pretty at the moment. But what I like to tell people is that we are going through a major, major cleansing. And we're also rising up from a lower frequency into a higher frequency. And in this higher frequency, if we're willing to go with it, if we're willing to release the past, forgive, grow, open, go in with an open heart and just embrace this higher frequency, it's faster, it's amplifying everything. We're going to be living in a brave new world. Then this higher frequency, this is the good news for people that are suffering from systemic diseases, is that, for example, Parkinson's can't survive in that higher frequency. So if that applies to Parkinson's, for example, it would probably apply to MS, cancer, and all these other things. I'm not the only person to say this. This has been predicted by many people, many cultures. So that's the good news. So that is in our future. However, we all have a part in that because we're contributing to our world. We're one consciousness, whether we like that idea or not. Most of us don't, but we are all one, and we're all pieces of the whole. So whatever we're thinking and doing and whatever level we're vibrating at, we're contributing to that forward momentum, or we're holding it back. So I'm going to start with the readings right now. And the first person I'm going to read is my dear friend Vicky. And I haven't seen Vicky for, I don't know, about 8 years now, Vicky. It's been a while. And we met on when we were both living on the Sunshine Coast. Vicky is also a very gifted psychic, I'm going to say. Is that what you call yourself, Vicky, a psychic? Yes, okay. And, I have different names for myself, so that's why I asked you. And so, what is your question tonight, Vicky, that you would like to know?
I would like to know for my own benefit how I can best help and help others get through this time as well as myself.
Okay. Well, what I'm getting for you, I don't know, have you written a book? Have you written a little book, like a manual?
Manual, yes.
It's what I'm seeing is that you're putting down, and I feel that you have reached in terms of your mastery of your gift. I feel, and I feel this too, that you are a master, that you are a mistress, whatever we call it. But you're like I call myself the crone, you know, with the seniors, with the elders, and you've reached this stage in all the work that you've done and all the experiences you've had, where you've earned the right to kind of sit back a little bit. And I feel that what you're going to do is write a book or a manual. It feels like a workbook, and really helping people, uh, asking them, teaching them to ask themselves the right questions. Because, as you know, I work with people. I'm not a fortune teller. I get people to ask the questions, what do they want to create in their future? And I teach them how to get that. And what I'm seeing for you, and I'm seeing this little manual, it's like this tiny little thing, but I think it's going to do very well. And you might have cartoons or funny little stories or anecdotes or something like that. It's not a big tomb, it's very small, but it's powerful. And I feel like what you're doing, and this, you might be channeling this book, or it might just come from all your experience so far, but it's really going to help people, those people that want to really master their own destiny and check in with themselves and do the work. I call it doing the work. I think that book will go very well with them. There'll be a certain demographic, the people that are spiritually waking up, are more enlightened, and are taking responsibility for themselves. I often say about now that humanity is in the process of growing up. I feel like we're going from teenagers, where we've gone kind of wild and crazy, to some level of maturity. And I can't wait to be on the other side of this. It's going to be very lovely. It's very peaceful. And, the intelligence that we have, I think we're going to step into that. But of course, that comes with the emotional maturity. So I think what you're going to do is help people get from this side of the water to the other side. It's like you're helping them cross the bridge and land on the other side. And those people that read it will be ready to ask those questions and do the work. So that's going to be very valuable. I feel like, I just want to say this, Vicky. I do feel like you're surrounded by, I want to say, the Council of Elders, but there's a very high, hierarchical group of beings around you that are really supporting you and protecting you. So I know you're coming up for a physical experience in the next little while, medical physical experience, and I feel that they're going to really take you through that. And that's kind of nice, because it's like, oh wow, I'm going to the dentist on Friday, can I have that please too, please, so you've still got this thing to offer. And but as you do that, I feel it's a very kind of gentle process for you. There's no rush. It's a very nice, quiet energy. Does that resonate with you at all?
Yeah, I have just one more question, and
Okay.
that is, what do you see as far as a house or a dwelling for me?
Hmm. I do feel that you're going to be moving from your current location. And I want to say there's a circumstance around this. So it might be somebody that you meet that says, oh, I've got this place over here. Why don't you uh, come and
For
live
me.
with me, or rent the apartment, or live in the carriage house or something? I want to say it's near water, and I'm not too sure if it's not across the border when the border opens up. So it's not immediately. I could see it going into next year. I think you're going to stay put for a couple of more months where you are right now. So we're August, September, October. I feel that this is all going to be done in November. I don't know how, but I feel the virus is just going to kind of stop or have no more impact. Funnily enough, that conspires with the US election. So I don't know if that's got anything to do with that. But I do feel you're not going to be living where you're living right now for that much longer. And when you do move to this other place, um, and the reason I hesitated, because I don't know if you remember the first reading I did for you years ago, and I saw this kind of rambly garden and this beautiful, looked like an old English house. And I feel that you're going to be living in that kind of environment. It's very comfortable, it's very peaceful. I see people coming to see you and you talking to them, and it's a very it's like they're coming to you and they're going, Vicky, oh Vicky, you're held in great esteem. You're held in great esteem for the knowledge that you do have and what you've done and what you're continuing to do. So I'm not too sure. It's not too far from where you live right now. So I'm wondering if it is close to the border or across the border, but it feels like the ocean is not very, very far away.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Blessings to you, and thank you for coming on. So, I have questions, or a lot of people ask me, a lot of clients say to me, uh, can we all be psychic? Can we all sense the future? And my answer to that is if you want to. There's a lot of times I didn't want to see the future, so it's like, no, I don't want to know. But we can all be psychic. We're all intuitive already. But I think we can also develop our psychic ability depending on our intention and how much we want to see for others and ourselves. And everybody's receives energy differently because it's all about energy. So, some of us are clairvoyant and we have visions, or we see things in our dreams, or we see somebody and we just get a whole story around them. Sometimes we might be clairsentient, and it's like we're more empathic, we feel their energy. Sometimes we walk into a room and we're feeling great before we go in there, and then after a while we feel really depressed and we're going, what happened? And we might be picking up on the energy of that other person, especially if we're not aware that we're picking up and we're not protected. So in the beginning, I was very empathic. I was so sensitive. It was excruciating. So I had to learn to put this little bubble around myself and protect myself from others' energy. And then sometimes we could be clairaudient. We might be very sensitive to sound or voices. I know I do a lot of phone readings. I think I'm all of it now because I've been doing it for so long. So I'm very sensitive to voice and I can hear the spirit coming through the voice. And I'm even clairaudient, which means you can smell. You might smell the spirit of your dead grandfather who's smoking his tobacco, right? His pipe. There was a reading I did once, and I was talking to this lady in Dawson Creek on the phone, and it was 8 o'clock in the morning, and I hadn't had my breakfast, and I said, "Why can I smell this baked bread? It smells divine." And she said, "Oh, my husband and I have a bakery, and we just pulled the bread out of the oven." So I thought that was really interesting. So we all have this sensory perception, but we've been told, especially as women, that we can't know. So I'm just putting that out there to you ladies and everybody. Vicky already knows this, of course. And the simplest message I have for being able to listen to your intuition is what I call BLT. So being, just letting go, relaxing, listening to the energy, listening to your feelings, listening to your body, listening to what's going on around in the universe, and then trusting what you do sense. Because I think we do pick up, but we mistrust it because we've been told we don't know, especially when we were little. So I beg all mothers, if they have children that say, "Oh, mommy, I saw dead Uncle Fred sitting on the end of the bed," please don't deny him, even if it freaks you out or you don't believe him. Just say, "Oh, that's interesting." And then what happened? So we're not crushing that intuitive in the child so that we can grow up trusting the self and the inner voice. So I'm going to pick on Priscilla next. So
Okay.
hi, Priscilla. Thank you for coming
Hi.
on. And is this your first reading? I understand.
First time.
You're
Yes.
a brave girl. Okay, so I, uh, I applaud you for your courage. Not that I'm going to say anything scary, of course. Okay, so do you want me to blind read you, or would you like me to answer some questions for you?
I think blind read would be best.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that because I haven't read you before, never seen you before, so it's always nice to go in. And when I blind read people, I also get a bigger picture than just the specific questions, especially when I haven't read you before.
Hmm.
Okay, well, are you missing travel, Priscilla? Do you want to go traveling?
I mean, sure. I'm feeling,
Okay,
everyone's a little
well,
bit stuck in at the
oh
moment.
yeah, absolutely. I feel that you're meant to go traveling probably in January. I don't know if, the limitations are going to be removed, but I hear travel with you.
Mhm.
And do you have any children at the moment? No,
Mm-mm.
good.
No.
Because I'm getting, it's funny, I know how
Double
old you
men.
are and I won't
Yeah,
reveal that, but
absolutely.
it's
I
almost, I
feel
feel like
that
you're
you're
10
meant to
younger,
go
10 years
traveling,
younger than you really
probably.
are. And you're meant to go traveling before you have children.
Mhm.
So I don't know if you feel like you wanted to do that when you were 19 and, do Europe kind of thing and you
Mhm.
missed out. But there's a feeling of going away on a trip. You're not going by yourself. I feel a man with you. So I would imagine it's your boyfriend. Um,
See.
and I, yeah, better be, right? But I do feel two children with you.
Okay.
So I think around the 30-year mark that you're going to have two children and they could be nicely, 2 years apart. Do you want me to tell you what they are, or do you want it to be a surprise?
Sure.
Of course, I can always be wrong, so you
Yes.
can go, ha ha, you were
No
wrong,
harm, no
Natasha.
foul.
I do feel a girl and a boy, so that's
Okay.
very nice. And are you studying right now, or are you thinking about going back to studying?
Yeah,
You are
yeah, I am.
studying. What is it you're studying?
And public policy at the
Okay, well,
moment.
that's interesting. Well,
Mhm.
we can have a few conversations. um, I'm not too sure if, as you get towards 30, that you might change the direction or you might um, add something else to it.
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't know if public policy involves public relations, but I feel like public relations is going to come in there somehow for
Okay.
you. Does that make any sense?
It's not really something I'd considered before. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll see,
Hmm.
but your life feels like you're still it does feel like guided. Your life does feel guided that there are certain things you've got to do at certain times. And
Yeah.
so I feel over the next few years it's kind of like there's this and then there's this and there's the travel and then coming back and then I feel like after the travel and you might go and live abroad somewhere.
Mhm.
You might be gone for a little while, I'm not too sure.
Mhm.
Or you might just go on a journey that's educational in nature, or I think
Yeah.
all travel is educational. And it might be to a specific country where you admire their public policy, for example. So it has
Hmm.
a purpose to it that's in line with what you're doing. It's not just like, I'm just going to go and have a good old time.
Yeah.
You will, but it's also got a purpose to it and a direction to it. So I feel like your life is very boom, 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 especially as you get to around 32, 33. I
Mhm.
think you're going to do very well, Priscilla.
Thank
What I get with you, you're somebody who um, you're kind of dangerous in a way because you come in with this very soft touch, but then you kind of go in and get the job done.
you.
And
Mhm.
people don't know it's been done until they go, what happened? Right? So there's a feeling that you can do very, very well. Do you know your grandfather?
Both I do know both of them. Yes.
Okay. Has one of them passed over?
No. No.
They're
They're
still
both
here.
still alive. Yes.
Okay, good. There's one of them that's really around you a lot. I don't know if you're close to one than the other, but it feels like one of them is I want to say, wanting to be more a part of your life in some way.
Okay. That could be true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, like wanting to contribute to you or help you or be a mentor or something like that
Okay.
to have
Interesting.
more value in your life.
Hmm.
So just think about that.
Yeah. Cool.
Um, Having said that, do you have a question that you would like answered?
Um. No, not specifically. I'm not sure. I guess I am at an age where the future is interesting and I don't have any real idea of what that holds. So,
Yeah.
um,
No, I think I get that I get you're intelligent. I get studious. Like, I feel like study isn't a problem for you. I
mhm.
think you like information. And I think there's a humility with you that I really like. And so, you've got the soft touch, but then you go for the kill and you get the job done. And that's the feminine touch, and it's beautiful because it's effective. So
Mhm.
I feel that you're going to be very effective in what you do.
Mhm.
So I'm going to carry on with the talk and then just think about it as we talk, anything that you still want to ask about.
For
Vicky, did
sure.
you want to add something in there?
Oh,
Okay, I thought maybe you wanted to comment there. Um, so the other thing that people asked me about is, Natasha, how did you know when you were psychic? And my short story is, well, if my mother hadn't been psycho, I wouldn't be psychic. And that's sad but true. And a lot of psychics, I don't know if this applies to you, Vicky, but a lot of gifted psychics went through a lot of trauma, either one big trauma or continual traumas when they were little. And it kind of really helped them develop their sensory perception because it's like a radar. You know, they had to put out their antennae and know when it was dangerous and when it was safe. So it's kind of like the adrenals are on overdrive a little bit. Um, so that's how it kind of can come about. Sometimes it comes down through the family, through the lineage, and it hasn't been shut down. So they come into the world and that's encouraged. And so that's easy. There's nothing in the way. And, but as I say,
In my particular case, I
yes.
was hit by lightning.
Were you really, Vicky?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's when it started.
Wow.
Yeah. So
There's
that
a
was
message from
definitely
the
traumatic.
heavens. Wow. How old were you then?
25.
25.
Yeah, I
Wow.
don't come from a psychic family.
Wow. And did you know straight away that you something had changed and you were
Oh,
able to,
yes.
you
It was
could?
all very different. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that scary for you?
It happened too fast to be scary.
Yes. I mean, becoming psychic, not, I mean, the bolt of lightning, I'm sure that was really scary, but becoming psychic, did that kind of make you feel very vulnerable in some way?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Vicky, can you just lean towards the computer?
Sorry.
Yeah, I keep
Sorry.
losing you. Yeah. Sorry, did you feel vulnerable?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I know. It feels like you're kind of walking around kind of spiritually naked. You know, everybody can see you and you can feel everything and you're raw. And I'm often telling people how to, that who are afraid of becoming psychic, how to really protect themselves. So if you are very empathic or very sensitive, it really behoves you to kind of learn how to protect yourself, right? Because then you can also be vulnerable to other people's attacks and vampire energy and that kind of thing. So I know I went through that process and I opened up, I shut down, open up, shut down. But if you're interested in developing that, I encourage people to really listen to their intuition. Start with that, treat it like a muscle and strengthen that. And maybe even get a little of intuitive journal and write down when you were right, like how much was my grocery bill, or what's the weather going to be like on Thursday, without checking your iPod. um, you know, having guesses and seeing how right you are, writing those dreams down. So building that muscle of your intuition up. So I'm going to say, yes, we can all sense the future. And, you know, I think what we're headed toward, my vision of this, is that we're all going to waken up to our intuition and our psychic ability, and we're going to become much more telepathic. My vision of a future culture is that we're not speaking actually. And it feels like we're going to be just exchanging thoughts much, much more. And I've noticed, especially over the last 3 years, when I've been working with clients and I've been teaching my psychic development workshops, how many more people are just wide open. And I think of somebody, they call me, or, you know, vice versa. It's happening a lot more. So the telepathy is already happening. And in telepathy, we can't lie to each other. So that's a really good thing. Okay, Dorothy, it's your turn now. Thank you for your patience. So, what would be your question, Dorothy?
Um, I'll just let
Or
you read me, uh,
oh, okay, okay.
however, if you want. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
let's do
absolutely.
that.
Um, I feel like there's a female energy around you. Is your mother still with us, or is she passed over?
She's crossed over. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's your mom, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a feeling of it could be mother, grandmother energy, but she's like right here. She's sitting right above your head.
Oh,
And
my
was
mom.
she, there was something about lace. Did she like lace, or do you like lace? Was she
I
very
think I like
feminine?
lace. I like
Yes.
lace and feminine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she's
Mm-hmm.
showing me lace, a lot of feminine. She's telling me that something's coming up for you in the near future that's kind of, I want to say, exciting or pleasurable. And I know we did an email reading a little while ago, and I always forget my reading once I've done. They kind of go through me and then they're off back into the ozone. But I'm feeling this has to do with, um, thinking about kind of renting a vehicle and going like an RV and going on a bit of a journey, are you?
I was, but
Okay,
not.
you're not. Well, that might change back again. Because not immediately, it feels like in a couple of months' time. So there might be a change of plans, but there's something really delightful about this. And if you're not driving the RV, maybe you're going, I don't know, 2 hours away. We live in beautiful
Hmm.
Okanagan, so there's lots of places to go, but it feels very pleasurable. And I want to say that when you're there, you might have an encounter with somebody that's going to be the word I get is delightful for you, but has an impact on you. Because I feel in 2 months' time, your life is going to kind of the frequency is going to start to increase. So 2 months is September, October, it's into the fall. It could be sooner, it could be later. I'm like the
Hmm.
weather forecaster, it could be rainy on Thursday, but might be Friday. So um, I'm feeling for you that you're kind of at the tail end of something. You're coming in for completion. There's an ending. There are endings, and
Hmm.
you're still dealing with the endings in some way. You're
Hmm.
still dealing with the endings, but there are new beginnings, and I think you've had seeds of the new beginnings, but I don't know if you've recognized them yet. If you have, and you've recognized them, and you go, "Oh, that was kind of nice, but nothing happened," then that thing's going to build. So, am I making any sense at all? Probably not.
Hmm.
All I'm saying is you're coming to the end of the old cycle, you're starting the new, and in the beginning of this new cycle, I feel there's a trip involved, there's definitely new people, and there's like, oh, I'm happy, you know? And things are going to start to climb for you. So going into 2021, I feel like you're on a very good trajectory, a very good trajectory. And I feel your mother's like around you going, yay, like this for you. She's happy. She's nudging you every now and then. Who likes tea and biscuits? Was it her or you?
Yes, yes, that was her.
Okay, she's saying tea and biscuits. And I don't know if she had the little china cups. Was she English?
Scottish.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Say no more. But she's around you a lot, and she
Hmm.
wants you to know that. And she's going to, I want to say, escort you through this gateway almost into the higher trajectory. But it's a lot more fun. There's a feeling of freedom. It's like throwing off an old coat and not having any more doubt. It's almost like the last little while, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? But when you go into that trajectory, you're really going, oh yeah, this is it. And I trust this and this feels solid. So it feels like you're on much more solid ground. So I'm happy for you. I feel there's going to be romance in here somewhere, right?
Not
So
complicated.
what's that?
Never mind. I said I hope it's
No,
not
it's
complicated
no,
romance.
no, no, no. If it's complicated, let it go. Um, Things are going to get so clear for all of us. I think there's going to be a new kind of clarity here. It's going to be like laser, and we're all choosing our realities. We're all, those people that are in the conspiracy theory and in the dark and the panic and everything, and there are some that are going yeehaw, are in the light. So, it's wherever you choose to be, and if you want to contribute to that, then you contribute to that reality. But I feel you are passing through into this higher frequency, and that's going to be good for you. Um, I'm going to say also there's something about, I don't know if we talked about this, something about you being good at being a spirit medium. Do you tune into spirits at all?
Sometimes, yes. Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's not a big thing right now for you, but it's going
Hmm.
to, again, down maybe 3 or 4 years from now when you've got lots of
Okay.
time and,
Hmm.
they're starting to show up and it's going to become more interesting to you. And I think you'd be pretty good at it. I did a thing on YouTube called 5 Ways to Talk to Dead People. So if you're interested in you can check that out. So I'm just going to talk about why we're afraid of psychics. So we'll get back to the readings as well. A lot of people are afraid of being psychic because they're afraid of what they might see. But my experience when I opened up and closed down, and when I finally got help, and I got a very little bit of training, but I really learned by trial and error, is that I learned that I could manage that energy. I didn't have to see horror shows. People asked me to do a ghost busting. And I still do this. How dense is the energy? And if it's too dense for me, I'll say no thanks. You need to get the local Catholic priest in. I just deal with the unhappy spirits, right? Because that's my thing. So we can choose. We're not victims of this energy coming at us. We can really learn to manage it and filter, even in the psychic realm. And the other interesting thing is, for those people on the other side of the coin who are afraid that all psychics can read you all the time, we're not interested. Trust us, because that's a lot of work. And even if you come to me as a client and you have got a deep, dark secret that you don't want me to see, I won't be able to see into your psyche. It'll be like a brick wall. So it's very interesting to me that some clients come to me and they want a reading, but they're terrified and they're blocked. And I'm saying, it's very hard to see anything here. Or they're saying, oh, you're getting me all wrong. And I'm going, well, I don't think so, but you're throwing me decoys. So it's so interesting how those people can still unconsciously put up a smokescreen. So I've told people saying, sorry, this isn't working. You may as well leave because you're not ready for this. You're not ready to be read. And then other times they've come, we've had a reading, but it's been a more superficial. So you're still safe. You don't need to be afraid of psychics. You're still safe. And of course, we've got that old, as women, we've got that old belief system that the Catholic Church and the Christian Church said psychics are bad. And I always ask people, well, if we're not meant to be able to see in the future, why did they have prophets in the Bible? That I just don't get that one. And the Spanish Inquisition, where we were actually tortured. And a lot of men especially, I find, just don't understand how it works. And it's not woo-woo, it's actually physics. So it's kind of like tuning into a TV channel. And you tune into, say, CBC, and you can see what's on today, and you can go back and see what was on yesterday. And then you can see what's going to be on in the future. And what was on really back here is it's just a prognostication. So it's like an equation. It's like going from A to Z and being able to just understand everything that's in the middle without having to understand it. So again, another analogy is like a weather forecaster. Based on current conditions today, that's probably what's going to be showing up on Thursday of next week. And that's where it's come from. So, you've got this front coming from the Atlantic, and we're going to have rain and, blah, 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 and then tornadoes. But the timing could be wrong. The day could be wrong. So psychics aren't always, definitely not 100%. It depends on the client as well, how willing they are to do the work to manifest that higher potential. We've got all kinds of different potentials. So it's not just one, it's many. So Priscilla, have you had any more thoughts about other questions?
Maybe I'd be a little bit curious about my family.
Okay.
I don't know that I have a specific question in mind, but if you are getting anything.
Okay. Do you have a sister?
I kind of, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Is she smaller or younger than you?
Yes.
Okay. Are you concerned about her, or is there something going on between you at the moment that you'd like to resolve?
I don't know her.
Oh, okay.
So
okay, interesting. Maybe you want to get to know her then.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure.
It feels like she's sitting there in the back of your mind, and there's a question mark around her.
Right.
So that might be, why not get to know her? Are you able to contact her?
Not very easily, but I think maybe when she's older.
Yes.
Then maybe.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Because there's a feeling of just a question mark there for you. And
yeah.
is there a brother?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, is he he's full blood or step brother?
I have a couple. I have one full brother.
Yeah.
I have a half brother and a step brother as well.
Okay, you got them all. You got it all
Yeah.
covered.
Collect them all. Yes.
And am I hearing Australian or New Zealand accent?
Australian. Yes.
Australian, yes. Okay. Because I got suddenly distance, like somebody's long way away.
Yeah.
I feel like one of the brothers. I want to say the step brother for some reason.
Okay.
It might be the half brother. I don't feel it's the full brother.
Okay.
One of them you're very close to, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, maybe all of them, I'm not sure, but dare I say the favorite. Anyway, I feel like he wants to hear from you. I don't know if you've spoken recently,
Okay.
but there's a feeling of like, oh, I'm missing you,
Mm-hmm.
want to see you. And do you have parents in Australia?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're both
Yes, yes. Are they like on the west side of Australia, on the Perth
there.
side?
East.
Oh, they're
East.
on the
Yes.
other side. Okay. Who's in Perth? Somebody's in Perth, or on that side that's close in your family. I'm seeing a farm. I know there's a lot of farms out there, ranches type thing. Okay, somebody is there that's significant. Maybe you don't know them yet.
Okay.
So maybe they'll show up in your life at some point.
Okay.
But I get a nice energy, around your family.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the sister is the one, and the brother that wants kind of attention paid to them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Something about geography with you. Do you like maps? I'm seeing the word geography, and so I get maps.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. It might be that you're just far away, and there's
It
a lot
might
of
be.
geography in
Yeah.
between, right?
Yeah.
So there's different ways of interpreting the symbols as well.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. So I want to say, talk about a little bit about how we can create, how we can contribute to our world. And I'm going to ask you this, Priscilla, when you do public policy, what's your vision of, do you have a mission in mind, something you specifically you want to do with that?
I mean, yeah, I kind of work more, smallly within like unemployment, and
Okay.
I would love to see a world where unemployed people aren't stigmatized. So I think the way that we
Yes.
create our policies really undermines people in those kind of situations. So I think there are some better ways of doing it. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm interested in and researching.
Well, I love that, and I applaud you, because a lot of policies, right? A lot of organizations have I used to be a flight attendant, and I go through, for example, customs all the time.
Right.
And, I just immediately felt guilty, because they'd look at you like you're the worst criminal in the world. And I go, but I didn't do anything, right?
Yeah.
And it's just this, it's almost like a bullying thing. And it, in some people's hands, that can be, they can become bullies or power hungry. So the more compassionate and humanitarian we make everything, I think that's going to have a big impact on empowering people. And I'm all about that, because if everybody in this world was empowered to be the best person they could be, what a world this would be, right?
Yeah, totally.
So I applaud you for that. So I know that you're both, and thank you for coming on, and Vicky too, she's had to leave us, unfortunately. I know you're both people that are intelligent and want to contribute, and I just see that the more people understand that they are part of this change that it's going through, the more they can add to it, the better off we're all going to be. Okay, so I think we were meant to be having another lady come on, but I don't think she's shown up yet. So I'm just going to go to the end of the show and just say thank you for coming on and being brave enough to have your readings done on. Dorothy, did you want to ask anything else, or have anything that you wanted to add before we leave?
You can maybe shed. Oh, is there something?
Sorry, no, go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead, Dorothy.
You can shed a little light on romance. That's always a little fun subject.
Oh, isn't that just? Isn't it just?
Oh,
I know
it's
I went for a long time before I met my Mr. Right. I'm just going to welcome Steffi Taylor. Hi, Steffi. Thanks for
Hi.
joining
Hi,
us.
Mhm.
I'm
Hi,
just
everybody.
meet Dorothy and Priscilla,
Hi.
and
Hello.
I'm just going to finish with Dorothy because she just asked me about romance. That's always a big question, right? You
What's
know that
that?
one. Oh
Highly
yeah, what's
overrated.
that? What does that mean?
I know.
Um, I do want to say, Dorothy, there's going to be a big one for you, like a big romance. And I feel, I said, at the beginning of the reading that you're going from this frequency to this frequency. And I think you're kind of preparing for that. You're preparing for that. You're getting yourself ready to receive it. I'm putting out a newsletter this Friday, and I'm talking about how when we manifest, we can ask for what we want, but we need to prepare ourselves to be able to receive it and be in a place where we think we know we deserve it. A lot of times people ask for what they want, they get it, and then they go, I don't deserve that, and they sabotage the relationship, winning a lottery, getting the great job, whatever it is. So it's always best if you ask yourself, am I really, really ready? And I think you're in the process of going through this incrementally, from now in August through to January of next year. I think you're preparing yourself to step into this beautiful energy. And I said you're going to go away and you're going to meet somebody and they're going to have an impact on you. That person may not be the romance, but they might be somebody that could change your life. Could be a female, male, a child. I don't know who it is. I feel it like it's an adult, but somebody that's very interesting to you and has an impact on you, and it kind of like a guide in human form, spirit guide in human form. Sometimes we have these people come in and we go, wow, they're the person, but they're really just passing through to remind you of who you are and how much love you deserve to have in your life. So I don't think you've got to wait too much longer, but it's not even waiting. I would like you to call it preparing, sowing the seeds. And, I mean, we're going to get our hair done and nails done, all that good stuff, but sorry, whoops. Sorry, I lost you guys there. Um, it's preparing yourself spiritually and emotionally and getting ready for that. And that's going to be pretty wild. And I think it's going to be much, much better than, I shouldn't say this out loud maybe, but it's going to be the relationship of your life. And you're going to learn the most from this person. It's going to be, I want to say, like kind of soulmate energy. And soulmate energy can be really challenging because it's very intense mirroring and it's not always easy, but I think it's going to be good for you because you've had to wait this long so you can be mature enough to handle the intensity of the relationship. Does
Okay.
that make any sense?
That does make sense. Thank you so much.
And I think that's going to be, your romance for the rest of your life. So you'll never be asking that question ever again.
Good. Put it to rest. Good.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, praise the Lord. Hallelujah.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
Steffi. So Steffi is a dear friend of mine. She lives on the Sunshine Coast. And you look beautiful as ever, Steffi.
Thank you.
So do you have a question or do you want me to blind read you?
Blind is fine.
Okay. Blind leading the blind, eh? Okay. Well, I know that things have really shifted for you in the last little while. Things are, and I think, I forget when I read you, if I read you in March or May or somewhere back in the year, and I felt kind of like what I've just told Dorothy, you've gone through. You've been going up incrementally in this life, in this year, in your energy, in your frequency. And every time I talk to you, you're more and more excited. So that's really fantastic. I want to say for you too, because romance is on the table here, that you're getting yourself into such good shape and your self-esteem, I would say the self-esteem has been the biggest shift for you, and just how you see yourself and how you think the world sees you. And so when I'm doing my quantum healing work, I'm always asking people, who are you told that you are and who are you really? And that's what you've done this year. You've gone from who you were told or who you thought you were to like, oh my God, you know what? I'm intelligent, I'm brilliant, I'm efficient, I can do this. I'm heart, I'm this person with heart. I'm sensitive, I'm intuitive. You've got all this great stuff going on. So when that is kind of really integrated within you, you're already starting to radiate and emit this kind of frequency. You're like a big beacon of light. You can't help but be irresistible and track. Like attracts like, remember. So you're going to attract that person to you. But you see, that's why you couldn't have any of these other people that maybe came before, because you were still discovering your authenticity. And if you got together with them, you would have wasted another few years of your life going, oh, he's the one. I'm going, no, 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 wait, keep going, because you're going to get to number 10 here, and you're going to have 10 out of 10 up here. And that's when it's going to be your best self and his best self. And while you're doing this, that person that you're going to meet is also getting ready for you.
Mm,
So
okay.
somewhere when you look up at the moon at night or look up the sun during the day, just know that that person that's out there is also looking up at that same, um, light, and that you're sharing that, and you will come together. You will come together, but not before the universe. I think the universe is taking care of you in that way and keeping anybody that's not really right for you away from you, and letting you do your work right now, get to this place that you want to get to, and then feel really totally confident in that. And it's a lot about being authentic. Like, I didn't realize that. I didn't meet my husband till I was 57. And I was always going like, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Right.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that I still had work to do. And then when I got there and I went, okay, I don't care anymore. I'm just going to carry on publishing my books and doing my business. And I wasn't looking, I wasn't attached. And when he did show up, it's like, well, I'm sorry, I'm too busy. I don't have time for you. But he was persistent, thank heaven. So, you're going to be in that place where you're in complete surrender, because you're in love with yourself. You're really going to feel complete in yourself. So I'm going to say to you, Stephanie, I'm feeling sometime, I almost feel like you might meet this person before the end of the year, or, going through it. And he might even be circling now. It would not surprise me. He's circling the wagons right now, because you're emanating this kind of yeehaw energy, this excitement, and being happy in your life and with yourself. And would you agree with me that things have been going really well recently for you?
Yeah. This, like you say, this year has been amazing, and to know you for as long as I have, and to hear it from you, to recognize the growth within myself. It's been quite a journey. But this year, I do feel that I'm finally blossoming and finding that person that I'm meant to be, and
Yes,
um, and it hasn't been easy, listening to the little cloud that's in here. But
yes,
I'm very proud of where I'm at and where I'm going, and I keep open, and that's hard to do sometimes when you've been so closed off all the time and the wall is up. So I'm
yes.
really learning to just be open and follow, and wherever the universe takes me. And I'm excited right now, like, just to keep going, and you know yeah.
That's beautiful. I'm so happy for you, and I'm so proud of you. Although I've got no reason to, it's not like you're my daughter or anything, but I'm proud of you, because I know it's not easy. It's sometimes be very painful, and that self-talk that we've been inherited from our ancestors or our teachers or our siblings or the boys at school, whatever. It takes a long time to get it out of the head. It takes a long time. So there's work. It's work. But once you get there, oh my gosh, life is so much easier.
Yeah.
So much easier. Okay. So thank you for coming on, Steffi. Do you have any more questions that you wanted to ask?
um mm, Maybe just financial future, just really brief.
Well, I think still in 2000, still in this year, it's going to be, a little bit of roller coaster. You're fine, but it's a little bit up and down kind of thing. But I feel like February of next year, like January, February, March next year for you, you're really going to start to see some things really move, really like things that have been stuck, they're going to kind of crack and start to move. It's like cracking a piece of concrete and letting the goo come out of the middle. It's been stuck like that for a long time. So January, February, March, I think next year you're like doing really well.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'll come on the cruise that you're going to go on
Yeah,
if you
perfect.
want to invite me.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll all go, right?
yeah, why not, right?
So, you know, patience, but everything's in process.
Yeah.
And COVID, I think, has been very interesting, you know, depending on how it's affected you personally. But as far as our world and our consciousness, I know a lot of people suffered and are still suffering, and I send them lots of love and light.
Yeah.
But in the bigger picture, it's a rebirth, and rebirth is painful, and each of us on our own individual level have gone through that too. So, uh, you know, the question to ask is, how am I going to be better at the end of this? What have I learned? What have I done? Who do I want to become? It's not who you are, but who do you want to become? And I think you're doing that, Steffi. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Namaste, everybody. So if you just like to stay put, at the end of each show, I always like to do a thank you to you, all of you, Priscilla, Dorothy, Stephanie, and Vicky, who had to take off. So anybody, again, who wants to come on September 30th, get a reading done online. I do 10, 15 minutes, whatever time allows. And you can just contact me directly through Natasha and natasharosewood.com. Every week, I love to do a shout out to doctors, nurses everywhere. I can't imagine what some of them are going through. They've got to be so exhausted, and it's going to be very, very challenging in some areas of the world. So I want to ask everybody to be careful so we can protect them, right? Let alone your grandparents or your person next door. Just keep doing what we need to do until we don't have to do it anymore. And as I say, my sense of it, it's going to be really toning down by the end of the year. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It doesn't make sense to me, but I'm just going to say that. So thank you to all the other people that are the heroes, firefighters with the forest fires, anybody that's out there risking their lives to save others. I thank you for that. On next week, I'm going to be talking about past life regressions. It's one of my favorite topics, and 10 reasons why. Why would you do a past life regression? I've been doing them for about 20 years now, and I've had fantastic results. So I'm not going to spoil the topic now. So come back next week. And if any of you have questions about a past life, I'd love to hear your questions or your stories or your fears. What are your irrational fears? And so now we've come to the end. Normally I do a meditation, and I'm going to kind of read a poem, but if you would like to just close your eyes and take a nice deep breath in, and always inhaling the good and exhaling the negative into that rose crystal bowl that we put on our laps, and just relax into your breath, being grateful that you can just breathe, the simplicity of the in and out. And this meditation by Louise Hay is called Infinity. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. I believe in a power far greater than I am that flows through me every moment of every day. I open myself to the wisdom within, knowing that there is only one intelligence in this universe. Out of this one intelligence comes all the answers, all the solutions, all the healings, all the new creations. I trust this power and intelligence, knowing that whatever I need to know is revealed to me, and that whatever I need comes to me in the right time, space, and sequence. All is well in my world. Amen. Isn't that beautiful? Thank Louise Hay for that. So, you know, we talked about today just what is in our future. Just know that you can access that. And if anything becomes overwhelming, give it up to that higher power and let it take over and flow through you. And then you know you will be doing the highest and best for everyone concerned. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
so much.
Thank
Natasha.
you.
You-
Okay.